So I just rewatched The Mummy from 1999 in preparation of Lee Cronin's The Mummy coming out in April in a couple months. And also the fact that, well, we're getting a new Mummy movie in this specific universe in 2028, but we're also getting a new Mummy movie that's separate from all of this in a couple months. And it's just really confusing. There's gonna be two Mummy movies essentially back to back. That's fun. But I just want to go ahead and talk about the three films starring Brendan Fraser. I could review the original movie. I might, but I mainly just want to talk about the 1990 film series, 1999 film series that started with this movie. And this movie goes as follows. We have this dude in ancient Egypt being named Imhotep, and he has an affair with this woman, ends up gets mummyized, and flash forward years, we follow Rachel Weisz, who is this kind of down on her luck person, works in this library, is trying to research mummies and the culture and Egyptians, ends up meeting Brendan Fraser's character, and of course he's great with Rick O'Connell. I mean, he's perfect. um, and they go on an adventure. Come across Imhotep. He reawakens from his tomb, ends up causing havoc. Did I need to explain the plot? No, because this movie, I can't underestimate this. This movie was huge in 1999. Like, this came out, and people were like, oh my god, that's what an adventure movie should be. We haven't had much of those lately. This is what this is. Because they took The Mummy, which was his 1940s or 30s horror film, that's really, really good, but is more slower paced, smaller, much more horror focused. This one comes out and it's a little bit of horror sprinkled in here and there, but it's mainly just an adventure Indiana Jones action style movie. So in 1999, I can imagine audiences were craving this kind of movie, and it happened. And while it's not nearly as profound and not nearly as creepy and horrific as the original film from the 30s, this movie still has its place in cinema as being one of the coolest movies ever made. Like, come on, guys. Steven Sommers directs this film, and he never really was able to make anything better since, really. This one, it's just great. Now, I'm going to get into some of my negatives before I get into my positives, because I don't have a lot of negatives with this movie. This is one of my favorite films of all time. Can't really go too hard into negatives on this one. But mainly, CGI doesn't really hold up. For the most part, the CGI doesn't look great. Um, and that's it. That's all I feel. That's all the 10 negatives with this movie. I love this film so much. Let's get into what works about this film. And that is the adventure tone of it. The Indiana Jones style adventure crossed with the Mummy movie, the original Mummy. It just works really, really well. Audiences from 1990s saw this and were like, this is what adventure movies used to feel like. And that's what I love about this movie. It feels so old and pulpy with how it does the adventure-esque style in this film, and brings this timeless quality for this movie, because those old adventure films, they felt timeless. This feels timeless. You can watch this in 2026 or in 2087, and you're still going to be like, that feels timeless. That's cool. I love that. Let's go. Because that's what this movie does. It is really that kind of film. It just feels like you can watch this at any point in time and still get a kick out of it. Rick O'Connell and this being played by Brendan Fraser, it's just perfect. He is perfect. He is your perfect wide-eyed, doughy, just kind of not really there all the way protagonist, and he is perfect in this film. He's truly amazing in this movie. I absolutely adore Brendan Fraser as this character. I feel like he insanely works in this film. He really brings a level of life and energy to this movie that I don't know if they could have cast anybody in 1999 that would have brought this level of energy to the film. I mean, just little lines he does in this movie that he delivers, and I don't think that could be played by anybody else. He just does such a good job in this movie. Rachel Weisz in this is really good as well. She has some really good she has actually great chemistry with Brendan Fraser in this movie. It is insane. And then we get introduced to her brother, and he's kind of our comedic relief. Other characters we get introduced to range from this coward kind of guy to this really awesome person. Really loved his character in the film, and the look of the movie. Oh my god. I miss when we shot on locations. It is so good in this film. Now we're starting to shoot on locations again, in modern day films, but this movie really does shoot on location. It does such a good job of immersing you in this universe, in this world. It really does. And yeah, it's a long for an adventure. This movie's like over 2 hours, but it feels so short. It just flies right by. It is amazing in this movie. There's little details here and there, like whenever Brendan Fraser was first introduced and they hang him in that scene, they actually almost killed Brendan Fraser in that scene, and you can feel it later on in the film. It is great. There's some, like I said, some green screen, CGI doesn't work, but the face within the sand after all these years, it's been almost what? It's been about 20 years, way over 20 years since this movie came out, and the effects on the sand face still looks incredible. Imhotep in this is really fun. He's not nearly as fun as he is in the second movie. That one, they dial up the camp, they dial up the cheese, and I really enjoyed that one, but not nearly as much as this movie. This one, it just feels good, man. You know, you ever watch a movie and you're like, that makes me feel good. That makes me want to go out and just go on little adventures, exploring tombs. Me personally, if I did that, I'd die. But still, it's just one of those movies that just gets your blood pumping, you know? It's like the original Pirates of the Caribbean in that sense. Like, I love these kind of adventure movies that are just so fun, so enjoyable, and just get you just in the mood to just run around and do jumping jacks in the air, because that's how I feel like after I watch this movie. The score here is amazing. The casting here is amazing. The effects range from decent to not great, and they're my only real flaw with the film, because I have to be a little bit more fair to this movie. As much as I love this film, as much as I grew up with it, I gotta be more fair towards it. I can't just praise it the entire way like how I want to, even though it's practically been what I'm doing throughout this whole review. But I have to list some flaws here and there. That being said, The Mummy from 1999 still holds up. This movie is truly the perfect action blockbuster, and I am so unbelievably excited to see what happens in The Mummy 4 when it comes out in 2028. As for this film, it's great. I'm also looking forward to The Mummy 2026. I mean, it's going to be more in line with the 1930s film, which I'm excited for because I like the horror aspect of that. We can totally have two Mummy movies that are incredibly different with this one and the one that's coming out in a couple months. They can exist. They can coexist. What can't coexist is a 2017 Mummy, but that's another story for another day. As for The Mummy 1999, this movie still holds up. Still amazing. Just a perfect action blockbuster that I love with all my heart. And I will give The Mummy from 1999 about a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah.